Hello, my name is Chris Moffett. I blog at Practical Business Python, and today I wanted to do something a little bit different and show you a video that talks about the coding pack for Python. This is a new distribution from Microsoft that makes it really easy to install Python and Visual Studio Code and some Python libraries and Visual Studio Code extensions so that it's really easy to get Python running on your system. Along the way to show this, I'm going to also talk about the Windows Sandbox, which is not needed for this coding pack, but is kind of a useful tool to spin up isolated environments on your system. The easiest way to run the Sandbox is to type it in down here. So I've already installed it. I'm not going to go through how to install it. You can follow in the links below if you're interested. But what's interesting about this is Windows is spinning up a really stripped down environment that's isolated from the one I have on my main system. This is going to be useful so that I can install all of these Python extensions and Visual Studio Code without having to impact the environment on my current system. Now that the Sandbox is open, just let me walk through to show you that there's really nothing here. If I click on the File Explorer, you can see that I don't have anything in my documents. There's not really much outside of the default on the system. There is a Microsoft Edge. And if I look at the programs installed, there's really not much there at this point. So one of the key things to keep in mind is this environment doesn't have Chrome, it doesn't have Visual Studio Code or any of the existing things on my system. It is, like I've said, very stripped down. But for the purpose of this demo, it's really nice that I can spin this up and then not have to worry about it messing with my current install. So let me go ahead and launch Microsoft Edge. And it's going to want me to upgrade to a newer version, but I'm not going to worry about that. The one thing that is nice is I can go over here to another window and copy a URL and paste it in here. So now I can go to the Visual Studio Code coding pack for Python. And this link will give you the option to download it and give you a little bit more details about what the coding pack has. And we'll talk about that a little bit during the installation process. So let's go ahead and download it. I'm going to save it. And it's about 200 megs, as you can see here. So it's going to take a couple minutes. So let me pause and I'll come back once it's downloaded. Now the download is completed. So let's go ahead and run the installation process. So click Run. I'm going to minimize Edge so we're not looking at that while it's going. And this is slower on my machine because I'm recording this video and it is just a standard laptop. But overall, the performance is not too bad. So this is designed to be very simple to install and you can just accept the defaults. So I'm going to go ahead and click Install and it's going to do its thing where it installs Visual Studio Code plus some extensions. It's going to install Python 3.8 as well as some additional packages like pandas, numpy, matplotlib, jupyter. And then it's also going to configure the PowerShell environment so you can use virtual environments. So a lot of handy things that are maybe challenging to set up for a new user, you can all do in one place. So I'm going to let this install and then we'll come back and I'll give you a quick demo of what it has installed and how to use it. Now the installation is complete and you have the option to launch Visual Studio Code. I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to close that out and you can see that there is the Visual Studio Code icon on the desktop. It's now available here from the Start menu. But before I do that, to show you that Python is installed, I'm going to go ahead and launch PowerShell. And this will take a second. And now that PowerShell is up, I can type Python and I've got my Python environment going, which is great. I can also show you that I have pandas installed. So we're good to go from that perspective. And there's pip as well as all the other packages that you would expect to see. So this is a really good way to get started for those new users. So let's go ahead and launch Visual Studio Code so you can see what's installed there. So we have Visual Studio Code now, and what I wanted to show you were the extensions that were installed. And there are no themes or colors. You'll definitely want to customize this some more, but you do have Python, PyLance, LiveShare, Jupyter, and Gather. Gather is a really cool extension that will work with Jupyter notebooks to take your code that's executed out of order in different cells and bring it together in one place. So really helpful that that's installed along with these other packages. But the key thing is here, everything's configured. And so if you're a new user trying to get them up and running really quickly, this is a really handy tool. So the final thing I wanted to show is that once I close this down, everything goes away. So my mini environment, which I haven't really done much with, I'm going to close. It's going to give me this error that everything that I've installed is going to be discarded, which is perfectly fine because all I wanted was for this demo. But you need to be aware, if you do this yourself, that this is not really a long-term solution, and you should install this on your system or use some other virtualization technology. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you'd like to connect with me or see some of my other content, I blog at Practical Business Python. You can see the URL or connect with me at Twitter at Chris1610. Please leave some comments below if you found this helpful, and I look forward to my next video.